Good evening. Thanks for joining me. It is Sunday evening, late Sunday evening, about to be Monday morning. And I'm launching this Facebook Live because you just saw that graphic. There is a winter storm warning that is in effect beginning at midnight tonight, and it will be continuing through around 6 p.m. tomorrow because tonight we are expecting some heavy snow, and that could impact that Monday morning commute, especially in Northwest Arkansas. Deanna, you said it. Spring to winter weather again. Last week sure was nice and mild. Friday, we were in the 60s. We even had a severe storm throughout Friday. And then now here we are, Sunday into Monday, looking like some snow is back in the forecast for us. So heavy snow tonight into Monday morning. That is looking possible for us. We can see here earlier in the day, the National Weather Service they did issue a winter storm warning, and that's for the area in pink. So it includes Washington, Madison, Benton County, pretty much all of Northwest Arkansas included in that winter storm warning, and that will take effect pretty soon at midnight, going through 6 p.m. Monday. Heavy wet snow, that looks to be the hazard type, and I'm kind of glad it's the heavy wet snow because the last time we had these winter headlines, it was for a icing event, and this time we're not expecting ice, but we are expecting that heavy wet snow. So here we go. Here's Heil Heat and Cooling Mega Doppler radar showing some rain in Northwest Arkansas. Notice in northern Benton County, starting to see a transition to a wintry mix of some rain and snow. That's the purples and pinks. That is a wintry mix indication. And actually, that is a snow indication. And surface temperatures are a little bit too warm to cause impacts as of just yet. And I don't think any of that is sticking to the surface. So as of right now, we're not seeing any snow accumulation across the area. Earlier in the evening, we did see some reports of some sleets in Benton County, mixing in with some rain. So definitely cooling down. And tonight we are expecting that transition to some snow. And those rain chances they're going to be picking up, especially past midnight, going up to 100% chance of rain. And as that rain falls, the atmosphere will cool. We're going to get some dynamic cooling in Northwest Arkansas, and then we're going to see a changeover to some snow, and that's going to be affecting that Monday morning commute. The best chance of snow is right during rush hour tomorrow. So Gary's asking, kids go to school tomorrow? I think in Northwest Arkansas, I think there's going to be either a cancellation or some maybe a late opening for some in Northwest Arkansas. But if the snow falls, because they're going to go out on the roads tomorrow early and see what's going on, because the roads probably have not been treated because it's been raining. And if they treated the roads, then all that treatment would just wash off. So if we get any kind of snow, it could stick to the roads, especially because we are expecting some heavy snowfall rates. So definitely seeing those chances for rain going up tonight. Now here's a view. Pinnacle Parkway Towers and Rogers. About an hour ago, there was some pretty heavy traffic, probably some post Super Bowl traffic. Right now, the traffic looks to have died down. They probably got the message that tonight we're going to be seeing snow. So they are probably already home, thankfully. And here's a view of Bentonville Town Square. The ground is wet, but we're not seeing any kind of icing or really no frozen precip at the Bentonville Town Square right now. It's not even raining at the Bentonville Square. Again, going back to Heil Heat and Cooling Mega Doppler radar, showing some indications of some snow in the higher terrain areas of northern Benton County. Bentonville Square looks quiet. Washington County looks dry at this point, but there is a whole lot of energy moving in tonight, and that will give us some really good chances for some snow. And that's why the National Weather Service did issue that winter storm warning. And that's why I'm doing this Facebook Live. So as you just saw, those temperatures in Northwest Arkansas, a bit too warm to cause impacts, but that looks to be changing pretty soon as we head into around daybreak time frame. Bentonville 36, Fayetteville is at 40, Fort Smith 45. So definitely it is a little bit too warm to have the snow accumulating. But notice the satellite radar picture. Now, this is a radar mosaic, so the algorithm is a bit different on the precip type. It's showing some more widespread snow off to our west, and I believe it. I think that it is snowing around Tulsa, and all that activity is going to be moving in tonight. So as we expand the view, powerful system. Now, the surface low is to our south, and this is a strong low because if we take a closer look, there's actually some severe weather ongoing in portions of Louisiana and Mississippi. Take that off. Taking a zoom in. Yeah, even seeing a tornado warning in Louisiana. So definitely a strong system, and we're going to be dealing with all the activity on the backside of this. So notice across Oklahoma, across North Texas, all that energy moving in, and that's what's going to cause the snow, because the upper level low is currently across North Texas, and that will lift northeast across Arkansas tonight into Monday morning, and that will be the focus for our snow chances. And then by Monday afternoon, it should be out of there. But I do think that the clouds will hang around a bit longer tomorrow during the afternoon. So here is the HRRR model. Now the HRRR model has kind of backed off on the snowfall totals, but could be a pump fake. So I'm going to be watching that. Here is 3 o'clock in the morning. This model is showing that change over to some snow and some mixing of some snow and rain in Northwest Arkansas. Here's 7 a.m. Monday morning. So right around rush hour, going to be seeing some potential heavy snow. Some potential heavy snowfall rates are going to be possible during the rush hour commute tomorrow. So that's going to be the main impacts in Northwest Arkansas tomorrow morning, because we could see some heavy snow. Allison is saying we have ice happening in Bella Vista right now. Yeah, so definitely could be seeing some sleet mixing in with that rain. Allison, here's Mega Doppler, Bella Vista. Yeah, definitely seeing a changeover. Now, before we get to snow, there's going to be a brief time period where there's going to be some sleets, and that's probably what's happening in Bella Vista. And we might even hear thunder snow. You might even hear rumble of thunder tonight, because there's going to be a little bit of instability in place. And as the snowfall rates pick up later on tonight, I wouldn't be surprised if we heard a rumble of thunder or two tonight. But going back to the future track radar, again, 7 a.m. tomorrow morning, it's looking like a really good chance of snow. And even into the later morning hours tomorrow morning, there's going to be a chance for some snow showers lingering into the late morning hours. Should be tapering off around noontime into the early afternoon. And then by Monday afternoon, temperatures should warm up. And by Monday evening, that commute home shouldn't be as bad as the Monday morning commute. And then by Monday night, though, we're going to be cooling off to the lower to mid 20s potentially. So any leftover moisture will freeze Monday night into Tuesday morning. But here's a timeline. So here's what we're thinking. Think of the impacts from the snow are going to begin to be felt in our northwestern counties around 4 a.m., continuing throughout the morning. So tomorrow morning, we're going to be seeing impacts from this snowstorm. And in Washington County, Fayetteville, the Interstate 49 corridor, think of the best chance for snow, 5 a.m. to around 10 a.m. So right when you're heading off to work and school, it's going to be a really good chance of snow tomorrow morning. And here are some computer models showing snowfall totals. Now, I take these with a grain of salt, because these models are not taking into account the melting and the compaction that's going to be happening with this event. And we're definitely going to be seeing some of that, because you notice those surface temperatures, they're going to be a little bit too warm to have all the liquid equivalent turn to accumulating snow. And here's the European model showing upwards of 6 inches, and in the higher terrain areas might even see some higher totals. GFS model has been all over the place. Yesterday it was showing nothing, and now it's showing 10 inches. I think this is a little bit overdone. The NAM is a little bit less. I think that might be doing a pretty decent job of what we could be seeing happening tomorrow. Now here's what the Your Weather Authority team thinks. Dan updated this yesterday. I updated this today. I did bump up the totals because at the last second, the models did do an uptick in the snowfall totals. So I did up them to Northwest Arkansas, 2 to 4 inches being common, some locally higher totals possible. And in the higher terrain areas like the Boston Mountains, could see upwards of 6 inches of snow. So yeah, definitely seeing a potential impactful event. for tomorrow. Checking in on some comments. So are we expecting power outages for Northwest Arkansas tomorrow? Yeah, I think that is going to be a low end risk, power outages, because again, it is going to be the heavy wet snow, and that could pile up on the tree limbs, on the power lines. It could weigh them down. So power outages, that could be a possibility. The good news is it's not going to stay cold. Well, actually, it is going to be staying cold tomorrow night, but then Tuesday afternoon it should be warming up. So if you do lose power, Tuesday afternoon should warm up nicely. Ava, chance of school off at U of A or delay? Definitely, I think there's a chance of a cancellation or a delay tomorrow, Ava. So you might luck out if you didn't do your homework yet. But I would recommend doing your homework just in case. But I do think that there could be a cancellation tomorrow, definitely, because of the timing of this snow event. Evening classes will probably happen tomorrow. So if you have a class like say like 6 p.m., 7 p.m., that's probably going to happen. But in the morning, good chance of that being canceled. Watching for snow in Newton County. Yep, right there with you, Tracy. Caden, are we going to get a foot of snow? Nope. Do not think so. I do not think we're going to get a foot of snow. Who is ready for Twisters to come out? I did not see that trailer. I got to go back and watch it. I was busy working, so I did not get to see that. Is it going to melt real quick? Yes, I do think it's going to melt real quick, Beth, and I will tell you why. I think Monday is going to be hanging around a bit, but check out the 7-day forecast here. Just in case you missed the news, you might have because the Super Bowl was going on. Notice how Tuesday afternoon around 60 degrees for that high. So yeah, the snow is not going to last long. And then notice Wednesday, Valentine's Day, things are heating up, mid 60s. So yeah, it's looking pretty good come midweek. But again, notice Tuesday morning, mid 20s. So any leftover moisture, that is going to be freezing. Groundhog. Meteorologist Dan Scoff is commenting groundhog. Yeah, the ground Chuck did predict early spring. So I don't know what he's thinking. Well, let's get him in. Let's get him in on this live. There he is. Here's Chuck. You might have remembered a couple weeks ago, Phil here. He did predict an early spring. Phil, not too sure about that as of right now, Phil. Because look at that, snow is definitely going to be coming down tonight into tomorrow morning. Going back to the snowfall totals, if you're just joining, doing this Facebook Live because snow is back in the forecast tonight, and it's going to cause some impacts for that Monday morning commute. Jacob, thunder snow possibilities. Yeah, I think we could hear a rumble of thunder or two. This is a very strong system and it's passing through. There is severe weather ongoing south of us, even a tornado warning in Louisiana. A whole lot of energy moving in. Temperature is pretty marginal. I think we could see some thunder snow tonight. Yeah, so 4 to 6 inches, that looks to be the higher totals in the higher terrain areas of the Boston Mountains. Some people are excited for the snow, and I'm pretty excited too because it's the good snow. It's the heavy wet snow that's it is not going to cause it's going to cause some areas of slush on the roads, but we're not expecting widespread icing. So that is the good news for this. Any chance for a dry slot? Nope, and I will tell you why. Aaron. Nope. See, this is going to be a wraparound event, so we're not we're not going to get the dry air in behind the cold front. So there's a lot of moisture in the atmosphere right now. You can see the surface low is to our south, and ahead of that, seeing some severe weather, and the dry slot is going to be behind that cold front. Um, and that's going to stay well south of us. We're going to be getting the wraparound, and there's a whole lot of moisture. You can see it in Oklahoma, North Texas, and all that is going to be moving in. What time we start on Monday morning? I'll show you. So here's the upper level low that's making its way through Arkansas tomorrow. And that's the trigger mechanism for the snow. So the energy is moving in, the moisture is there, temperatures. Now, the reason why snowfall totals are a bit uncertain is because there's really no cold air in place. Notice that we're in the mid 30s and the 40s. So to cool, we're going to need some dynamic cooling. And what that means is that we're going to need some evaporation to occur in the lower levels. And that's a cooling process. So that will cool the column and cause snow to form. So it's going to take some pretty heavy snowfall rates to get accumulation. So as far as what time will the snow start, it's going to be starting post midnight from most areas around 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 a.m. Here's daybreak around northwest Arkansas. A really good chance of snow is going to be seen. And the timing of this snow is not ideal for the morning commute. It's happening right during rush hour tomorrow morning. Misty's asking, is this the last snow before spring? I hope so. You know, I was looking towards next weekend, and some of the models showed potential for some winter weather. But I think that's just at this point, I think most likely just some rain. Might even see a few thunderstorms Friday. So, going to be watching for that. Jonathan, great question. How is this going to stick? Because it's going to be above freezing. Snowfall can still stick if it's above freezing. If we get some pretty heavy snowfall rates, it's not going to matter. Snow falling on top of snow is going to be below freezing. And if we get heavy rates, then we could see some accumulation from the snow. And notice here's Monday, 7 a.m. Temperature is going to be around freezing. So definitely we'll be seeing accumulation with this. Dan wants to take a hammer to Phil. I think we should cut Phil a break because he does a forecast once a year, and he's rusty. If he did it every day, he would be a lot better. So I think we should give Phil a break. I think we should give Phil a break. I'm doing Facebook Live. Yeah. Okay. All right. Thanks. So probably the big question is, will the school be closed tomorrow? I think in Northwest Arkansas, there's a chance that school will be closed. Yeah, because again, the snow is happening right during rush hour Monday morning. Betty Sue, we are getting snow. I forgot my milk and bread. I'm right there with you. I was going to go shopping yesterday or today, but I actually didn't get a chance to go shopping. So I'm kind of without a lot of backup food too. So I'll hopefully be able to get out there tomorrow. Hopefully it's not too bad. Hopefully tomorrow evening, we're going to see some melting and the road conditions are going to be a lot better. And that's what I think is going to happen. Tomorrow morning, that's going to be a different story. But tomorrow afternoon, evening, conditions should be improving a lot. Is this going to be the kind that may cause power outages in Bella Vista? Lisa, good question. Power outages. See, I look for ice for power outages, and we're really not going to see any kind of ice with this event. It's going to be a heavy, wet snow. But that being said, with the heavy, wet snow, that could weigh down tree limbs if it gets piled up, and that could knock a power line down. That's definitely going to be a possibility. But the snowfall totals, again, not really expecting a whole lot with this event. Tina wants to take a hammer to Phil. Yeah. Phil hates Slipknot. What? Phil. Yeah, so looking at Mega Doppler right now, let's just take a look at it. Again, still most areas are looking pretty quiet right now, but notice in northwestern Benton County, starting to see some snow making its way in. But further west across Oklahoma, there's a lot of moisture, and that's going to be moving in. So definitely are expecting snow tonight, and that's why we're doing this live. If you're just joining me, heavy snow that is back in the forecast tonight into Monday morning. Earlier in the day, the National Weather Service issued a winter storm warning. Let me pull that up for you. So if you're just joining, here are the winter weather headlines for us tonight. Winter storm warning for Northwest Arkansas. You know, it's kind of surprised me this morning that they issued this, because I was looking at the models last night, and they were not showing that much snow accumulation, around 1 to 2 inches. And then this morning, the model runs really bumped it up, and they kind of doubled the snowfall totals. So I bumped them up too. Hopefully the models weren't pump faking me, but I think that we're going to be seeing some good snowfall rates tonight. Josh Weisel, good comment here. It'd be cool to see some thunder snow. Rapp and Nam still has Kate moving in to overnight during a short window and time over NWA. HRRR did a complete 180 on the mostly unstable Cape and some of the winter projections they had earlier. Yeah, so I wouldn't be surprised, Josh, if you had a rumble of thunder tonight. I think it's definitely within the possibilities with that. Again, here's the Mega Doppler showing some snow off to our west. Still, they're really the only area in our forecast area seeing the winter weather is northwest Benton County, and we're seeing some snow in the northwestern corner, the higher terrain areas. And as we go throughout the overnight, as far as accumulation, it's going to occur on the grassy surfaces first, and then the sidewalks, and then maybe the roads. If we get some higher snowfall rates, then we're going to see some accumulation on the roads. And the reason why I think the models are doing a bad job with the potential accumulation totals is because of the atmospheric profile. So we're seeing some pretty marginal temperatures at the surface. Now, this is what we call a skew T log P sounding. And this line right here, where the cursor is, that's the freezing line. So if you're left of that, you're frozen. If you're right of that, we are liquid. And here's the HRRR model sounding of the atmosphere at 10 p.m. So a little while ago, it was showing temperatures at the surface above freezing and temperatures in the upper levels not quite below freezing either. And as we go forward in time, we're going to start to see the upper levels of the atmosphere dip down to below freezing. And then the surface, notice that it's still a little bit above freezing. And the precip type for the HRRR at this time, this is 3 o'clock in the morning. It is showing snow over Fayetteville. And that's because the snowfall rates are going to cause some snowfall accumulation, even though the surface might be a little bit above freezing. The upper levels are definitely below freezing. And then as we go forward in time, notice how at the surface, the dew point line, which is the green one, that's a little bit drier, or it's a little bit less than what the temperature is. So that indicates an atmosphere that is not saturated. So as the snow falls, we're going to see some evaporative cooling, and temperatures are going to be decreasing when we get the heavier snowfall rates. So from around 3 a.m. in the morning to around 7, notice the surface temperatures decreasing a little bit as the dew point line meets that temperature profile. So we're going to be seeing the lower levels being saturated. And here is the time frame where the heaviest snowfall rates are going to be happening. It's going to be right around daybreak. So right around rush hour tomorrow morning. And then as we go forward in time, here is 1 p.m. The ACRRR model is still showing snow, and temperatures at the surface really haven't warmed up all that much, just above freezing because of the snowpack and the cloud cover. Temperatures tomorrow morning are going to be a lot lower than what the models show. So that's why the National Weather Service issued that winter storm warning, even with these temperatures that are pretty marginal. Definitely pretty marginal. Again, here's Heil Heating Cooling Mega Doppler showing snow on the increase. So are we getting snow, Hannah? Yep, if you're just joining me, we are going to be getting snow. Here are the 2-day precipitation forecast. Notice how it's going way up tonight, and that is going to be snow. Again, right now the roads are looking pretty good. Here's our Rogers camera. Traffic looking pretty light right now. But tomorrow morning during rush hour, we're going to be seeing the road conditions probably not looking the best for some people. Mid-30s in Northwest Arkansas right now, but we are going to be dropping down to below freezing. Now, here is the system. It is south of us. It is a strong system. It does mean business. We are seeing a low pressure area over Louisiana, but the upper level low extends to the northwest, kind of over north central Texas. All that energy that's going to be moving in. So here's the upper level low making its way through, and here is the precipitation future track. Here is the snow moving in around daybreak tomorrow. Now, at this point in time, 7 a.m. tomorrow morning, here is where the heavier snowfall rates are going to be. And then even into around noontime tomorrow, the models are still hinting at some snow. Here is the winter storm timelines, snow Sunday night into Monday. The best chance for snow looks to be during the Monday morning commute time frame. So 4 a.m., 10 a.m. in our western Northwest Arkansas counties, and the Interstate 49 corridor around daybreak 5 to around 10, and then finally exiting the higher terrain areas of our eastern counties by around 2 p.m. in the afternoon. And a lot of people have been asking about snowfall totals. Casey, I'd take these with a grain of salt. These are computer models, and they've been all over the place. I just showed you that model sounding. I don't think the models are handling the snowfall totals good because of the dynamic cooling and all these variables that we have to deal with when we calculate snow. And these models are not taking into account melting and compaction, and we're going to get a lot of that tonight because temperatures are going to be pretty marginal. We're going to get a lot of melting and compaction with this heavy wet snow. Here's the European model showing some higher totals than what it showed previous run. 6 inches plus in the higher terrain areas. GFS model has been all over the place. Yesterday it was showing nothing, and now it's showing up to 9, maybe even 10 inches of snow. NAM model a little bit less. I think the NAM is doing a pretty good job with these snowfall totals. Now, here is the forecast for the Your Weather Authority team. Here is what we think is going to happen. 2 to 4 inches common in the lower terrain areas. And some areas, some locally higher totals could be possible in the Washington County area. But heading north up into Benton County in the higher terrain areas, the Boston Mountains, and with the Ozark Mountains. Could see 4 to 6 inches. That's not out of the question with the heavy snowfall rates and the dynamic cooling. Could it could overperform or could underperform because this corridor or this band of snow is pretty thin, and we're gonna have to see where that sets up tonight. So me get caught up on these questions here. It's probably gonna be a lot. Will it stick? Yeah, I think it's gonna stick. How much snow in Springdale are we expecting? Around 2 to 4 inches. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a little bit higher than that. There's going to be a sharp cutoff though. Interstate 40 and area south, we're not going to see a whole lot of any kind of accumulation with this. It's going to be a little bit too warm. Casey, Bella Vista. Bella Vista, you could see some higher totals. You could see 4 to 6 inches. And already getting in on the action, it looks like. Or at least close to it. Here's the current radar loop. Yes, areas like Gravette starting to potentially see some snow, and the pinks that's a pretty heavy snowfall rate. Snow be good for snowman. Yeah, yeah. This is going to be that heavy wet snow, so it's going to be perfect for making snowmen, for making snowballs. Anthony, that's a good question. What are the chances of it getting colder in Fort Smith to get snow earlier than predicted, or any at all? I think Fort Smith. I don't think they're going to be. I don't think Fort Smith is going to be seeing a whole lot of snow. I can show you. I can show you a Fort Smith sounding if you want to. If you want me to show that, just comment below. I just showed a Fayetteville sounding, but Fort Smith, I think temperatures are going to remain a little bit too warm to cause some accumulating snow in the Fort Smith area. Another good question from Brooke. The low end up around the Red River in Texas, where you said it usually gives us the most snow. No, and that is a great point. The low it isn't going to be riding the Red River. It's kind of going to be lifting northward. And I'll show you what I mean. Now, for a high snowfall event in Northwest Arkansas, typically the 700 millibar low, Red River. Now, this circulation, the low here, a little bit higher up in the atmosphere than where 700 millibars is, but it's still a pretty good depiction of where the upper level low is. So you can see it now. It's just south of the Red River. Now, the Red River is the border between Oklahoma and Texas. And then the low is going to be lifting to the north and east as we go forward in time. Notice how the center of it is kind of in central Arkansas. So it's kind of lifting to the north and east. And because of that, it's not taking that Red River track. Garrett, I'm not impressed with the most recent models, including HRRR and RAP, pulling back on amounts. Yeah, thanks for that comment, Garrett. I definitely agree. The HRRR, the 1Z had 0 for Washington County. But keep that in mind. That could be doing a pump fake. And I didn't want to change the whole forecast based on just a couple models. But who knows? They might turn out to be right. They might be onto something here. But looking at the radar, I'm seeing some pretty heavy snowfall rates just to our west. So I think that pretty soon we're going to start to be seeing some snow accumulation. I think past midnight is when we're going to start to see the changeover. So again, here is the upper level pattern, European model, and here is the HRRR. Now this is probably the 18Z. It's not the short range HRRR models. It's showing the snow beginning around 5 a.m. and they're really picking up around daybreak. No, yeah, Holly, what is it with these Monday mornings? Yeah, the last time we had a winter storm system, it was Sunday night into Monday, and I think a couple weeks before that, we had another winter system Monday morning too. So yeah, pump fake. Yeah, this could be a pump fake. Could always be a pump fake. And I really don't trust the models with this system because notice the temperature is at the surface. They're so marginal. I don't think the models are doing a good job with the small scale features of the dynamic cooling. So because of that, there's still some uncertainty. This is not a clean cut forecast by any means. I did show you the snow map, and I'll go back to that in a minute or two. But again, I still don't think it is clean cut for this event. Rusty, I'm getting the feels for less versus more snow. Yeah, if you look at the latest HRRR, the latest RAT model, yeah, I can see why you would say that. Check Gravit camera, great idea. Ooh. Yeah, here's the Gravit camera right here. Yeah, and that is a good point because Mega Doppler is showing some potential heavy snow in Gravit. So let me take a closer look at Gravit. Yes, I'll check the Gravit camera and I'll look off to the west and see if we can see any kind of street lights. All right, so I'm gonna walk over here and go to weather 3 and zoom in on the Gravit camera. So stand by. Here's our Gravit high school camera. Looking west. Definitely seeing precipitation. You can see some drops on the camera lens. See if I can zoom in. Oh. Yeah, I'm seeing some flakes in there. Yeah, so again, here is our Gravit camera, and that's a light post that I zoomed in on, and to me that looks like a wintry mix. To me, so yeah, definitely seeing a wintry mix going on in Gravit right now. Thanks for that comment. And let's see if we're getting any reports in Northwest Arkansas. Let me go over here and turn on those reports. Yeah, no reports, but yeah, definitely. We just saw a camera. Looks like a wintry mix, and I'm right now. There's probably no accumulation ongoing because it is just too warm. But that goes to show we can definitely see snow in the lower levels, even though the surface temperatures are above freezing. Let's go back up here for a second. So there is Northwest Arkansas. That's Benton County. And here is what's happening. That to me looks like a wintry mix. Definitely. Yes, if you have any questions, feel free to comment. So yeah, so right now mid 30s in Benton County. Fayetteville is a bit warmer at 40. Snow will be good for sledding. Yeah, I mean sledding. I guess any kind of snow is good for sledding. I mean, you probably want the powdery snow for snowboarding and skiing, but and again, this is the fun type snow. This is the snow that is going to be the heavy, wet snowball snow, the making snowmen snow. But if you want to enjoy it, get out there early because this is not going to last long. This is not going to last long at all. Yeah, the roads in the morning, that is probably the big question. That's probably the big question. Yeah, I think in Northwest Arkansas, there's going to be some impacts on the Monday morning drive, especially in Benton County, Washington County, and on Madison County. Now, it's not going to be for ice; it's going to be for the wet, slushy snow. Just joined the live. How's Rudy Alma area looking in the morning? Do you think the roads will be bad? Donita, I think in the Rudy Alma area, I think that's going to be just a little bit too warm to have significant impacts. Now, that being said, the overpasses and bridges could be some isolated slush, but the morning drive in the River Valley, I think, is going to be a lot better than Northwest Arkansas. This is mainly a Northwest Arkansas event. On to the sounding. All right. I think that was a comment about a Fort Smith sounding, if I'm not mistaken. So let me load that up. Yeah, if anybody else around the forecast area is seeing any snow or seeing any wintry mixing, leave me a comment and I can try and show you that on our cameras. Gonna get us sounding up right now from Fort Smith. Now, here's why I think Fort Smith is not going to see a lot of accumulation with this. The atmosphere is going to be just a little bit too warm, and I will show you an HRRR sounding. All right, I got it loaded up. Let me get it up. All right. Here we go. This is the HRRR sounding for Fort Smith. And here is 9 p.m. this evening. So a little bit earlier on the evening, we're seeing the surface temperature is way too warm. And you can see the column all the way up. And again, if you're just joining us, this is the SKU-T Model T sounding. This line right here, that vertical line at the 0 degrees Celsius, that is the freezing line. So if you're left of that, you're frozen. If you're right of that, you are liquid. And most of the column, up to 900 millibars, are actually 850. So up to 4,300 feet, roughly, is above freezing, and that's right now. And as we go forward in time, notice how now there is a lot of dry air in the lower levels. So we are expecting some dynamic cooling. But here's 3 o'clock in the morning, still way too warm for snow. Starting to creep down to around freezing, but here's 8 a.m. So we really don't get close to freezing in the column in the upper levels, because as you see it down here, all that is above freezing. So it would take some crazy snowfall rates for that to stay snow. So I really think that the River Valley isn't going to see much of anything as far as accumulation. Now you might see some snowflakes, but accumulation in the River Valley, I just don't think it's going to happen. So again, it's looking mainly like a Northwest Arkansas event for us. And you can see right here, temperatures mid 30s in Northwest Arkansas. River Valley is still 44 degrees in Fort Smith. So still pretty mild. Oh, could you actually see that sounding with that comment up there? Oh no. Yeah. All right. So here's the Fort Smith sounding. So that comment was covering it up. Temperatures at the surface are just going to be too warm. So here's about right now. All this is above freezing. the atmosphere up to 4,300 feet roughly is above freezing. And as we go forward in time, it looks to be staying above freezing throughout the whole night. Except for right there, it gets close around just after daybreak tomorrow morning. So again, in the River Valley, you might see snowflakes, but as far as accumulating snow, I just don't think it's going to happen. At least widespread. Maybe in the higher terrain areas of the Ouachitas, but widespread accumulating snow in the River Valley, I don't think it's going to happen. No problem, Brittany. Yep. Yeah, that was a wild game, overtime. Yeah, I think the last time that happened was the Patriots and the Falcons, and that was a wild ending too. Yeah. Susan, so we will see snow before 3 a.m. Yeah, we're seeing it. We're seeing it right now. If you're in Gravette, Decatur, um, seeing a few snowflakes. Gentry earlier in the evening. Yep. Yeah, we just Gravette camera. Looking at this a little bit earlier. Yeah, so that to me looks like a wintry mix. And notice that that's coming down pretty heavy. Yeah. Seeing some rain, some heavier flakes mixed in there. Yeah, so definitely seeing a wintry mix. Here's a good question. How do you think the airports are going to be in the morning, XNA airport? Well, I do think we're going to be seeing snow in during the morning hours. Throughout the whole morning, there's a chance of snow. So from around 2 o'clock in the morning till around noontime at XNA, I would say that there's a decent chance of snow, with the best chance of snow being around daybreak tomorrow morning. And it could be heavy at times. So I would not be surprised if there was some delays, some cancellations with this snow. Sleet in Bentonville for a few hours. Yep. Yeah, I think that there's going to be some areas seeing sleets before we change over to snow tonight. How long before we see snow in Berryville? Berryville, yeah. Well, for the whole area in northwest Arkansas, I think we're going to be seeing the snowfall, the chance of snow really ramping up, heading towards daybreak. So 4 or 5 a.m. Going to be seeing a really good chance of snow. What about Deer and Jasper over to Harrison look like? Yeah, so right now, there's really not a whole lot going on across the forecast area. Still pretty dry. But looking west of us, there's a lot more to come in. And Jasper, Harrison, Deer, there will be some chances for some snow, especially later on tonight into Monday morning. Do I think most schools are going to be closed tomorrow? I think that there's going to be a good chance of schools to be closed, especially in Northwest Arkansas. For the college kids, there might be some evening classes, but yeah, Phil's over here. He's just laughing at us because he did say early spring, but we're not getting that. We're not getting that. All right. Here is the timing for the snow. Again, the best chance for snow is going to be during the rush hour commute tomorrow morning. So I think that's why the National Weather Service issued their winter storm warning. Gravit has had sleet for a while now. Patty, thank you for that confirmation. If you had to give a range of snowfall in NWA, how much would you say? Ask and you shall receive. Here are a few computer models. Again, I think these are overdoing things a little bit because, as I just showed you, temperatures are pretty marginal, and these models are not taking into account melting, compaction, and we're going to get a lot of that with this snowfall event. It's going to be the heavy, wet snow. European model showing up to around 6 inches for Northwest Arkansas. The GFS is going crazy. Last night, if you were on this live, it was showing nothing, but now it's showing upwards of 10 inches. The NAN model is showing some good snowfall totals too. And here is what we think. This is our official forecast. Chief Meteorologist Dan Scoff updated this yesterday. I updated it earlier today. So if you're in Northwest Arkansas, 2 to 4 inches look common. Some locally higher totals are going to be possible. But in the higher terrain areas of the Boston Mountains, of the Ozark Mountains, we could see up to 6 inches. But notice how we drop off. So around the Alma area, Ozark, Mountainburg, just a dusting. And south of that, just a wintry mix. Not really expecting accumulation for most of the river valley. So the impacts look to be subjected to Northwest Arkansas at this time, definitely. So again, yeah, 100% chance of precip tonight. Rain and snow mix. David, yeah. I was talking about that earlier. Do you think there could be issues Tuesday morning with wet roads freezing? Yeah, I do think there could be, and I will show you why over here. Stand by. Going to get a temperature trend. All right, here we go. Here it is. So here's temperatures. So here's Monday morning. Again, we're going to be hovering around freezing. So it's really not going to get that cold, but cold enough for accumulating snow. And then heading into Monday afternoon, temperatures should be in the upper 30s. But I think it looks to be staying mainly cloudy throughout the day. So I don't think the sun is going to melt a lot of the moisture on the roads. Or I think the sidewalks is going to be the big issue for Tuesday morning. Because notice, we do clear out tomorrow night. Heading into Tuesday morning, temperatures are going to be getting pretty cold. Mid-20s, we might even see some lower 20s. So any leftover moisture will definitely refreeze Tuesday morning. But then notice Tuesday afternoon going way up. And that might be a little bit too cool. I think some areas might even hit the 60s Tuesday afternoon. And then Wednesday, it should be even warmer. So this snow is not going to last too long. So I'll get up there and enjoy it before it goes away. Phil is a big joker. Yeah, he's just laughing at us. He said early spring. He's just laughing. Phil, I'm gonna put him back over there. My weather dog came in slightly damp. He's telling me it's misty, rain, and no snow yet. No freezing either. His ears aren't too cold. And BV, I assume that's Bella Vista. I can show you that right now. So again, right now the precip is just west of us. Yeah, I can definitely see it being damp in Bella Vista. And later on tonight, we're going to be seeing some of that snow coming down. Holly, when do I think it will all be melted and gone? I think Tuesday afternoon should be all gone, or late Tuesday, most of it should be gone. And then by Wednesday, say goodbye. It will be out of here on Wednesday. Patty, when is it going to hit Bentonville? Good question. Yeah, if you're just joining us, snow is back in the forecast tonight. And I've been showing the HRRR model. I can show you the graph model and show you what's going on there. So I'm going to go over here. Again, here's the HRRR model. And the latest model runs have really been backing off on the snowfall totals. Here's 12 a.m. midnight, showing not a whole lot going on. But notice how it does fill in as we go throughout the overnight, especially in northwest Arkansas. And we are expected to dynamically cool down to around freezing. So here's 7 a.m. Monday morning. So for Bentonville, I think that 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, that's when the snowfall rates are really going to be starting to go up. Don't need to run my faucets tonight or tomorrow. No, definitely not tonight. Definitely not tonight. But tomorrow night, again, for some areas, it's going to get down into the lower 20s. So tomorrow night is going to be a bit cold. But let's get that graph model up. Now, the graph model is usually a little bit too early with the onset of precipitation, but I can show it. Here's a short-range graph model. Let's see how well it's doing with what's actually happening. So here's what's happening right now. Now let's see how the graph is initializing. You know, not really too bad. So let's see what it does. Let's go forward in time. Yeah, so the graph model has stuff in Bentonville happening pretty soon, and then going into tomorrow morning. And the exit of this might be a little bit too early. I think it might stick around for a little bit longer. Can look at the NAM model. See what it shows. Yeah, see, the NAM is going nuts with precipitation all over the place, and that's really not going on right now. Let's just see what it does. Yeah, it's definitely showing snow on the increase for us. Even into the afternoon tomorrow, it's still showing snow on the increase. And here are some other models showing snowfall totals. Again, it's mainly looking like a Northwest Arkansas event. River Valley isn't going to be seeing a whole lot. Yeah, the snowpack does make the temperatures drop as well. Yeah, so I went for a high tomorrow in the mid to upper 30s. Do I think it will be the last good snow of the year for Arkansas? Well, we're mid-February. That might be an 8-ball question. Yeah, I mean, it's a possibility, but I was looking at there's another system coming in late week, so we're going to have to watch for that one. Ryan Vaughn is commenting, chief meteorologist over there in Northeast Arkansas. Keep that mess over there. Yeah, we're going to be dealing with it. We're going to be dealing with it. Nothing in Bella Vista right now. Happy Camper right now, Kansas City wind and snow. Yep, if you're a Chief fan and you like snow, double win for you. Because we got that Super Bowl win and snow is back in the forecast. – Yeah, let's go back to the radar here for a second. Doctor's appointment at Harrison at 11. Wondering how the roads will be around that time and what our chances for bad areas to come back home to Deer. Okay. Yeah, 11 a.m. There could be some trouble spots on the roads at 11 a.m. in Harrison, because snow is going to be falling earlier, and there will still be some chances for some snow on going at 11 a.m. tomorrow. So there could be some impacts, but it's not looking like an icing event. So the roads aren't going to be treacherous. It's not going to be like our last storm system where we had the icing. Another weekend system. When does it end? Yeah, I was looking ahead towards next weekend. Could be some more activity coming in. So it seems like the weekend is has been pretty active. Snow accumulations for Eureka Springs, please. Yep. So if you're just joining us, heavy snow is possible tonight into Monday morning. And I'll show you those snowfall totals. And get up 21. So here's what our forecast is. We think that Northwest Arkansas 2 to 4 inches look common. Some areas could see some higher totals, and then in the higher terrain areas, the Boston Mountains, in the Ozark Mountains, 4 to 6. So Eureka Springs up there could see some higher totals. 4 to 6 looks possible. And again, this is for the tomorrow morning time frame. So the worst time for snow for the morning commute. The visibilities might even be reduced because of the snowfall rates and the time when the snow is happening. Yeah, Scott's saying with it not expected to get to freezing, should we expect this to clear up quickly after the snow stops? Yeah, I think it will. I mean, it's going to be staying pretty cold tomorrow. Cloud cover should win out. And then tomorrow night is going to be freezing. But Tuesday afternoon, we're definitely going to be seeing some melting Tuesday afternoon. It's going to be looking a whole lot warmer. Should I ask the 8 ball if Rogers will get more than 3 inches of snow? You know, the 8 ball in situations like this, the 8 ball is a good idea to turn to it because, again, the models are not going to handle this dynamic cooling, these small scale features very well. So I think the 8 ball might have to make an appearance on this Facebook Live. Now, we usually drag this out in situations where the forecast is very uncertain, and that's what's going on. So and then the 8 ball is very scientific. It's been proven to be accurate, at least some of the time. So the question is, will we see more than 3 inches of snow in Rogers? I'm going to ask the 8 ball. 8 ball, will we see more than 3 inches of snow in Rogers? Concentrate and ask again. All right. Will we see more than 3 inches of snow in Rogers? Signs point to yes. So the 8 ball thinks that our snowfall map is looking pretty good. So because of that, I'm not gonna change it. Yeah, I think that the schools in Northwest Arkansas, I think that they have a good chance of being closed. But if you go to the University of Arkansas and you have an evening class, I would still make sure you have your homework done, because by the evening, the road conditions are going to be a lot better. Put ice melt on my driveway and my neighbors. Am I being ridiculous? No, I don't think you're being ridiculous. No, because we are expecting accumulating snow. So that I think that was very nice of you. The only thing though with that, we are expecting rain and snow and some pretty heavy rates. So some of that is going to get washed away, but it's better than doing nothing. Yep, the 8 ball is out. So if anybody has any questions, we can ask the 8 ball. The 8 ball, surprisingly or not, the 8 ball usually pretty good. I'm back, but I smell the Arkansas fizzle. Yeah, there's a whole lot of energy coming in, and this system means business. You can see it right here. There's a lot. All that is coming our way. See the water vapor showing the moisture increasing. You homeschool? Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, though, this snow is the kind of snow that is going to be fun to go outside, make a snowman, make some snowballs. So, maybe have recess outside. How will driving to XNA at 7:30 a.m. tomorrow be? Well, that's probably the worst time to be driving tomorrow morning. I think that the heaviest snowfall rates are going to be from around 5 a.m. to around 9 a.m. And if you're driving an XNA, I know there's a lot of back roads, windy roads. Definitely plan for extra time on your drive to the airport and take it slow. And I wouldn't be surprised if your plane was delayed, because we are expecting the heaviest of the snow to be falling right around 7:30. So you can see all that energy making its way in. And here's a computer model. Here's 3 o'clock in the morning. Here's 7. Those darker blues, that's a pretty heavy band. So yeah, the drive to XNA tomorrow morning at that time frame, visibilities will be reduced. There could be some areas of some slush. Will we get dry slotted? Nope. Nope, we're not going to get dry slotted. This is going to be a wraparound precipitation event. Now, for the dry slot, the surface low. There we go. The surface low is well south of us. Here's the surface low. So we're getting the wraparound. Dry slides down here. So we're not going to be getting that. Ask the 8 ball if it's going to rain in Daytona on Sunday. Yeah, big race coming up. Yeah. All right. Well, the 8 ball is out. All right, 8 ball. Is it going to rain for the Daytona 500 Sunday? All right. As I see it, yes. Oh, the 8 ball says that it's going to rain. Boy. How will the streets be by 7 p.m. tomorrow driving in from Texas? 7 p.m. is going to be a whole lot better than 7 a.m. We're going to be seeing a lot of melting, But as we get into tomorrow night, the temperatures are going to be getting really cold, and we're going to be seeing some melting going on tomorrow. So, I mean, some freezing going on tomorrow. So, tomorrow night, we could see some refreezing. 7 p.m. tomorrow, I think it should be looking pretty decent, but there could be some slushy areas tomorrow, though. Paulo, what is dry slotted? Some of the dry air behind the cold front. So the surface low is to our south. So if we were to get dry slotted, it would be down here. And that's not going to happen because we're getting the wraparound. Catching up on some comments. Should he leave? All right. My grandpa has to go to Conway to get a stack of trailers. What time should he leave? And is it smart to do it? Okay, so Conway is in Central Arkansas. And if he's driving back to Northwest Arkansas, definitely don't do it in the morning. You don't want to be on the roads tomorrow morning if you don't have to be around rush hour. He honestly, the best day to do it is Tuesday. Tuesday is going to be a much better day to do it. If you have nothing going on Tuesday is going to be a much better way to do it. The back rows have potholes to XNA. Oh boy, yeah, the potholes, they've been really bad. Yeah, so there's another reason to drive slow. Throw the 8 ball away. All right, because the 8 ball said that it was going to rain in Daytona. Now, is that really going to happen? Let's see. Let's see. Stand by. All right, here's the HRRR model. Let me get rid of some of this. Oh boy. Well, there you have it right there. The 8 ball might be onto something. There might be some rain for the Daytona 500. Again, it's just a computer model. Oh, so this is about the Daytona 500. He needs me to help, and I leave for Daytona Tuesday morning. Yeah, well, again, here's a computer model showing rain for Daytona. Is it going to change? Gonna have to wait and see. Hey, Marcy, thanks for joining us. If you have any questions about the event, right now we're looking at Florida, but there might be some people just joining. So if you're just joining us, heavy snow, that is back in the forecast for us. Let me show you. Oh, all right, hold on. Stand by. I got to exit out of that. Earlier in the day, the National Weather Service issued a winter storm warning. Here it is right here. So in Northwest Arkansas, we could definitely see 4 inches of snow, might even see some higher totals. And here's what's happening right now. So here is Heil Heating Cooling Mega Doppler showing some precipitation in northern Benton County. And earlier in this live, here's our Gravette High School camera. I might be mistaken, but I think there is some areas. I think there is some snow kind of mixing in with the rain. From the Hilo Heat and Cooling Mega Doppler, showing a little bit of activity in Benton County, but a whole lot more to our west, and all that is going to be moving in. So tonight, really good chance of rain, 100% chance of rain, and it will change over to snow tonight. Here's our camera in Rogers. The roads look fine now. But that's going to be changing. Here's Bentonville Town Square. Some told me to look outside here in Rudy, and so I did, and it's lightly snowing in Rudy. Okay. All right. Well, here's Mega Doppler. Yeah, so definitely seeing some precipitation in the River Valley right now. Let me look at some cameras. Okay, here's Fort Smith Public Library. Let's see if we can see some rain. Yeah. Precipitation is definitely falling. I can see some drops on the cameras. Yes, I got a report of snow in Rudy. But if it is snowing, it's not sticking and it is not causing impacts because temperatures are just too warm. You can see Northwest Arkansas, mid-30s. Further south, notice how warm we are. We're in the 40s still. So if it is snowing, it's not accumulating and it's not causing impacts. But that just goes to show that on the models do not do a good job with this dynamic cooling situation. So here's the satellite radar loop showing a changeover to snow in Northwest Arkansas, in the River Valley, mainly rain. But as Donita said, that it is snowing in Rudy right now. So a whole lot of severe weather ongoing across Louisiana and Mississippi. So this system means business. A lot of energy on the backside of that low. That's making its way in. So here's the upper level low making its way across Arkansas. And that is the focus for the snow tonight. There's some light hail mixed with the rain in Centerton a couple hours ago. Are you sure it was hail, Scott, or was it sleet? Yeah, because we did have some reports of some sleet in Centerton earlier in the evening. Now here's a future track model showing the rain changing over to snow as we go into the daybreak hours tomorrow. So if you're just joining, we've been going for about an hour and 20 minutes. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments and I'll get to them. But we're doing this live because snow is coming down west of us and it is moving in. And tomorrow morning during the Monday morning drive, we are expecting accumulating snow. Here's a winter storm timeline. Gonna start seeing impacts from this, I think, around 4 o'clock in the morning. especially around daybreak tomorrow. And here are some computer models showing totals. The graph model up to 6 inches in the higher terrain areas. But again, these models are not taking into account melting and compaction, and we're going to be seeing that with this system because temperatures are going to be above freezing for a lot of the forecast area. GFS went down a little bit, but still it's showing a lot, showing 7-8 inches. So what's the new prediction for how much snow? So I didn't really adjust the snowfall totals from what I showed in the 10 o'clock news. I kept them the same. Even though the ACRRR is kind of backing off, I don't want to knock down the snowfall chances just because of a couple models. But here's what we're thinking as far as snowfall totals. Again, the higher totals in Northwest Arkansas, 2 to 4 inches look common, and some areas could see up to 6 inches. It was sleet, yeah. I think it was sleet, Brittany. Yep, just got to that. Stuff coming down in Bella Vista again now. All right. We happen to have a Bella Vista weather camera. So here's our Bella Vista camera. This is on Cooper Elementary. And the road looks wet. Let's zoom in. Trying to see if a lamppost, if I can see the snow. Yes, I think it is definitely doing something again in Bella Vista. I think it's a winter mix of rain, a little bit of snow. Dropping off relatives for a 12 p.m. flight tomorrow. Do you have an idea? The best time to be on the roads to make it to XNA from Tontitown. Oh, well, the flight is at 12 p.m. tomorrow. So usually, ideally, you would be at the airport 2 hours before that plane takes off. So 10 a.m. is the ideal time to be there. And if you're leaving from Tontitown, probably like a half-hour drive, give or take. Well, yeah, definitely plan for extra time on that drive because there is going to be snow falling at 10 a.m. tomorrow. I think that's for sure. So take it slow, and I wouldn't be surprised if a flight or two got canceled, delayed, maybe because the heaviest snowfall rates is going to be happening around 6 a.m. to around 8 a.m. in the morning. So I would probably leave at normal time. I mean, get there at plan for an extra maybe 30 minutes on that drive and just take it slow because the road conditions tomorrow, especially in Northwest Arkansas, aren't going to be the best. I know we aren't over this system, but could you look at how strong the energy is for next weekend? And I know it will obviously change. Yeah, sure. Yeah, let's go over here. Can show you again. Here's Here's a measure of the vorticity in the atmosphere. So here's what's happening midweek. Well, first of all, here is this system making its way through. And it's pretty quiet. Midweek zonal flow. A nice warm up midweek. And then here's that piece of energy. I mean, it's looking pretty subtle. It's going to be a cold front that's going to move through. And I wasn't even showing the right one. Sorry, it's been a long day. All right, so here's the system that's coming through tonight. Going through Arkansas. Midweek, it's pretty zonal. A little piece of energy Thursday. Might see a shower. And then here is the system that Matthew was talking about by late next weekend. A little dip in the jet stream is going to send a cold front in. And that energy doesn't look very strong at all. But I think there could be some instability out ahead of that cold front. So I think we could see a potential storm or two Friday with that system. And some models have us going down to around freezing, especially let me go to my 7-day. Just in case you missed the news tonight, you might have because the Super Bowl was on. It's going to be getting pretty cold Saturday morning, 20s. So I do think that there's going to be some rain Friday. Might even be a storm. And then Friday night and Saturday morning, if precip lingers behind that front, we might even see some winter weather Friday night into Saturday morning. But again, that is a ways out, and that will change. It melted quickly, but that helps the ground temp. I forget what you were talking about, Brittany, but yeah. The more precipitation we have, I think the colder the ground is going to be getting. Do I think schools will be closing? Is there enough impacts? Yeah, I think they could cancel schools tomorrow, definitely, especially for Northwest Arkansas. Where we see the higher totals, I think that schools could be canceled in Northwest Arkansas. If you had a bread counter, what would it be? I came from Jacobian country. Oh, do you mean like when it snows, go to the store and get some bread? Yeah, well, it's too late to get the bread now because probably the stores are closed. But I do think that we're going to be warming up tomorrow afternoon, and then Tuesday looks amazing. So you can definitely go and get your bread Tuesday. Yeah, I know. Me too. Wish we could stay dry for more than a week. But hey, midweek is looking amazing. What's for dinner? I'll probably go home, get some rice and probably some beef. Keep it simple. But speaking of food, that is, I got to go to the store myself. I was going to go earlier. I just didn't have a chance to with all this forecasting. So Michael is saying 36 feels like 30 in Bentonville. Yeah, Michael, and I'll tell you why it feels that way because it's so raw. Let's look at the relative humidity values here for a second. Yeah, so the atmosphere is almost nearly saturated at the surface, but notice how Fayetteville dew point is, the relative humidity is still 68%. So as the rain falls, what's going to happen is something called wet bulbing. So the temperature is going to go down 1/3. The dew point will go up 2/3. And as we saturate, we're going to be seeing some cooling. That's some dynamic cooling happening. So Fayetteville, still has some cooling to go. Bentonville already at 89% for the relative humidity. So I don't know about you, but I will take a dry cold all day long. But when it's moist and cold, it just makes it feel a whole lot colder. So that's probably why it feels colder, because the relative humidity is a bit higher. If you were out in the east in Clinton, Arkansas, Russellville, it wouldn't feel as cold, even though the thermometer might be a little bit colder. And speaking of temperatures, let's see where we are right now. So I've got 36 in Bentonville too, but that humidity might be why it feels a little bit colder. Oh, that was the wrong one. Yeah, so I've been doing this for about an hour and a half. It is now Monday. It is 12:43 a.m., February 12th, and heavy snow is moving in tonight. So that's why we're doing this live. If anybody has any questions, feel free to chime in. I think I'm going to run through it one more time, and if nobody has any other questions, we'll probably end it. And then Josh Rugger will be on here tomorrow morning to he'll be on KNWA News at 5:30, 6 and 6:30, and then Fox 24 at 7 to update you more. But doing this live because we got snow back in the forecast. So right now the snow is moving in. The surface low is south of us, so we are going to be seeing the wraparound preset from that. A whole lot of energy west of us, that's going to be making its way in. We can see the upper level low making its way through Arkansas. And here is a future track showing some snow moving in 4 o'clock in the morning, really picking up around rush hour tomorrow morning. So the Monday morning drive, we're going to be seeing some potential heavy snowfall rates. So that could cause visibilities to be reduced, areas of slush on the road, especially overpasses and bridges. So definitely impacts on the Monday morning commute look likely. And then the snow will linger into late Monday morning before we dry out Monday afternoon. But cloud cover is going to be slow to clear. So it's going to be staying cold, staying cloudy throughout the day tomorrow. And then tomorrow night, we're going to be getting down into the lower to mid 20s. So any leftover moisture will refreeze. Here is the timing. Again, the best chance for impacts is going to be during the morning commute Monday morning. Here are some models showing snowfall totals. The graph model, around 2 to 4 plus, maybe even up to 6 inches. Now, again, take these with a grain of salt because the atmosphere isn't going to be all that cold. So there's going to be a lot of melting, a lot of compaction with this heavy, wet snow. And these computer models, this product isn't taking into account that. So GFS going way overboard, I think. Remember last night, GFS was showing nothing. Now it's showing a whole lot of snow. NAM model, a little bit less. I think it's doing a pretty good job showing that cutoff. So the River Valley, not really expecting a whole lot of snow for this event. It's going to be a wintry mix, though. And here is the Your Weather Authority snowfall totals. Will Harrison get the full amount? Harrison, I definitely do think 4 inches plus is going to be a possibility for Harrison tomorrow. Definitely. As a storm chaser spotter, I don't see how it's going to stick. Well, see, this is going to be some heavy snowfall rates. It's going to be coming down good, and even though if temperatures are marginal, it's going to pile up, and there's going to be some melting, some compaction. But with these rates, we are expecting accumulating snow. But that is a great question, and Great comment right there because yeah, this is not your typical event. This is not by any means clean cut because there really isn't any cold air in place where we are relying on that dynamic cooling for it to cool down to below freezing. That's why the river valley, not expecting a whole lot of accumulation, if any, at all. But the further north we go, we are expecting that changeover to some snow. And we can see it right here. Notice up there in eastern Oklahoma, Jay, Oklahoma, that's some pretty heavy snow. The purples, pink is on the heaviest. But yeah, we might even see thunder snow or hear thunder snow. We've had reports of sleet already, had reports of snow. But who knows? Maybe the HRRR is on something and we don't see a lot of accumulation. But as of right now, I'm going to be going with this. So 2 to 4 inches look common in Northwest Arkansas. Some areas could see some higher totals. 4 to 6 inches look to be possible in the higher terrain areas, Boston Mountains, and in the Ozark Mountains, with lesser totals the further south we go. So I've been on for about an hour, 38 minutes, 12:48 a.m. If there's any last minute questions, I think I'm going to call it a night and hand over the reins to, here's a question. What's the temperature supposed to be at around 9 a.m.? 9 a.m. I think we're going to be just above freezing, maybe around freezing, and I'll tell you why. I think we're going to cool down, and the models are not doing a good job at this. So here is a skew T sounding. Here is an HRRR skew T sounding. So this line, this vertical blue line on the far right at 0 degrees, that's your freezing line. So if you're left of that, you're frozen. If you're right of that, you are liquid. And notice right here, there's some cold air in the upper levels, right around freezing at the surface. It's above freezing, but notice how the dew point is left of the temperature profile. So that's some drier air. Notice that the relative humidity at Fayetteville was around 68, I think. So there is still some saturation that will occur. And as we saturate, there's going to be evaporation, and evaporation is a cooling process. Let's go forward in time. Notice how down here, the green line, which is the dew point, gets closer to the temperature line. The atmosphere begins to saturate, and as it does, it cools. The temperature will cool 1/3. The dew point will rise 2/3. That's what wet bulbing is. So as we head into around daybreak, there we are right there. That's snow. That right there is snow. And that's 4 o'clock in the morning, right around freezing. Even cooling down a little bit more towards daybreak. 9 a.m. Still right around freezing and showing snow. So I think at 9 a.m., I think we're going to be Fayetteville at least 32, 33. Areas north in the higher terrain areas might even be a little bit cooler. We did not expect thunder last night. We will make it. Yeah, we could see some thunder snow. The jet stream is more south, question mark. Let's take a look. Yeah, notice that the low is well south of us. All right, here is the jet stream. Yeah, the jet stream is way south of us, and that's why the low is south of us. But we're getting the wraparound. Notice how the jet stream moves back north midweek. That's a warming trend. So it should be okay enough to drive to Dallas tomorrow as far as roads. Well, if you leave from Northwest Arkansas at 6 a.m., no. But if you wait until the afternoon, temperatures are above freezing, the precip stops, should be okay. It depends where you leave from. And again, it's not going to be icing. It's going to be the wet, heavy, slushy snow. So it's not going to be what we saw last time we had these winter weather headlines. It's not going to be icing. It's not going to be anything too crazy for us here, but there will be some impacts tomorrow morning. Ian, will the roads not still be warm enough for the roads tomorrow? It's a good question. Overpasses and bridges, those are going to be the trouble spots that will freeze first because they're going to be cooled from both sides. It's going to take a lot for it to accumulate on the roads, but we are expecting some heavy snowfall rates. So I do think that we're going to see accumulating snow, especially on the overpasses, bridges, some slushy areas on those roads tomorrow morning. But then by tomorrow afternoon, conditions will improve greatly as all this looks to be melting pretty quickly for us. So just to recap, we are expecting snow tonight. And here are the accumulation totals. In the higher terrain areas, might even see up to 6 inches of snow. And in Northwest Arkansas, 2 to 4 inches look common, but some locally higher totals will definitely be a possibility for us. So big takeaway is if you have to be on the roads tomorrow morning, take it slow, be careful, have the headlights on, visibilities are going to be reduced. Take it slow. And if you can't avoid travel, you might want to avoid it. If you don't really have to be on the roads tomorrow morning, might want to wait till the afternoon. That's what I'm going to be doing. So 12:55, been on for about an hour, 45 minutes. Thanks for joining us. Josh Rugger is going to be on the news tomorrow morning to keep you updated with all this. So stay safe. Have a safe trip if you have to be on the roads tomorrow. And try to enjoy the snow. It's just a wet, heavy snow. So you can make a snowman, make some snowballs. You can make you can have fun with it. It's not going to be the ice. Do not want the ice. And with this event, we are not expecting ice. So until then, stay safe and have a great night.